Morning, everybody. Welcome back once again. I'm Nicodemus Kane. Today is February the 23rd, 2023. It is the 2:23. I've heard a lot of people speculating what could happen. I've heard a lot of people just talking about the day in general to just be wary, be ready. I can't say anything will happen for sure. Just keep your eyes open. Keep your discernment fully aware. Look at the world through the eyes of truth and see just what it is that's happening. Again, it could be absolutely nothing comes of it. But we should at least be prepared and understand that their numerology is a thing. Just be wary. Just be wary. And if nothing happens, like I said, we don't know what's going on in the background. We have no clue what's happening behind the scenes. And even the smallest things that happen could mean something. Who knows? We just don't know. We don't know. I can't get into it too much because Jeremiah 48 is a monster of a chapter, and I can't really sit and talk for 15-20 minutes on what's going on in the world because this chapter is so huge. That's 3 pages. Well, 2.5, sorry. Close to 3 pages. But still, it's enough. It's enough that this is going to be the whole video. So I think I just need to shut up and just start reading. There are things that I could say. There are things that I need to say. But I just don't have the time for it. We have to jump right into this. It is what it is. Yeah, this world requires that I go to work at a certain time. So in order to do that, I have to get through this. And sometimes just reading it and not just reading the chapter and not worrying about current events, sometimes that actually leads to me having much better days. I found that out. If it's just you just deal with the Word of God instead of trying to worry about what's going on in this world, it helps out a lot more. So with that being said, we're going to get into this. What was it? 47 verses. 1, 2, 3. Is it 3? No, that's a big one. There's a big chunk of it without a pilcrow in the middle. Wow. 3, 4 pilcrows that I can see. So this is going to be kind of long, so we're going to get through this. Hopefully it's something good. Father, give us your word today. Let us be able to understand. All right. Jeremiah 48. Against Moab, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, woe unto Nebo, for it is spoiled. Kiriathaim. No, I was right the first time. Kiriathaim, Thim. Let's just say Kiriathaim. Kiriathaim is confounded and taken. Misgab is confounded and dismayed. There shall be no more praise of Moab. In Heshbon they have devised evil. I'm going to try that one again. Already, I can feel it today. I didn't wake up very well, so I'm kind of struggling this morning. Verse 2 again, there shall be no more praise of Moab. In Heshbon they have devised evil against it. Come and let us cut it off from being a nation. Also thou shalt be cut down, O madman. The sword shall pursue thee. A voice of crying shall be from Horonaim, spoiling and great destruction. Moab is destroyed. Her little ones have caused a cry to be heard. For in the going up of Luhith, for in the going up of Luhith, continual weeping shall go up. For in the going down of Horonaim, the enemies have heard a cry of destruction. Well, I'm doing great today. Flee, save your lives, and be like the heath in the wilderness. I am just curious. Alright. We're going to look up some of these names so that we can have them, because again, I just like Isaiah, there are parts of this chapter, parts of the whole book, that talk about the names of places that they would have definitely understood back in the day. Which is entirely possible that those cities, those places may not have been well known when it was all translated. And I don't even know if current history even knows what some of these cities were. But the names themselves mean something. And I've said before, maybe, and it doesn't have to be this way, but maybe there's more hidden in the name than it just being the name of a city. I don't know. So, starting back up at the top. Against Moab, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, woe unto Nebo, for it is spoiled. Kiriathaim is confounded and taken. I'm telling you, I'm saying it wrong. Kirjathim. Hey, Kiriathaim. Kiriathaim. Maybe. It means two cities. Town in Naphtali allotted to the Gershonite Levites, a city east of the Jordan in Moab. Well, there you go. I need to know though, just to make sure. Moab is of his father. Moab was the son of Lot by his eldest daughter. The land inhabited by the descendants of the son of Lot. Well, this opens up a whole new can of worms. So this is the land of the incestuous relationship between Lot and his daughters. These people were cursed. Just there it is. So Kiriathaim is the two cities that is to the east of the Jordan in Moab. Alright, so this adds it. This adds to it. This helps us understand. This helps me understand. I mean, some people might be like, hey, I already knew this, but for me. So, Kiriathaim is confounded and taken. Misgab is confounded and dismayed. What is Misgab? Come on. We missed Nebo too, but I know I've talked about Nebo before. Misgab. It is a place in Moab. It's a tower. It's a high fortress. It means height. So Misgab is confounded and dismayed. There shall be no more praise in Moab. In Heshbon they have devised evil against it. Come and let us cut it off from being a nation. Also, thou shalt be cut off, or thou shalt be cut down, O madman. The sword shall pursue thee. They have madmen capitalized. Madmen. Madmen? That's exactly what it says. It means dunghill. It's a place that it's not just. We're not just talking about crazy people. We're talking about a place called Madmen. A place in Moab threatened with destruction in the denunciations of Jeremiah. Well, no kidding. But it means dunghill. Madmen. Think about that for a second. Now, again, these translations may not be right. I've said it before. Other people have said it before. The translations of the names in the King James and others are not 100% correct. So that name within itself may not be 100% correct, but I find it interesting that they have a name of a city in the Bible called Madmen, which means dunghill. And we have a term, people can call it derogatory if they want, which we use to describe people that are crazy and I don't want to say beyond help, but are definitely way over the top, way more over the top than most people. We call them mad. They're mad. They're nuts. You're out of your mind. That the Bible itself, the translation, the Strong's Concordance calls it a dunghill. I just find it interesting. And remember, the English language, I think, some other people have thought this as well, the English language seems like it was created to destroy us, manipulate us, and destroy us. It's a very evil and wicked thing. It really is. It's the best we have for right now, but it seems like it has been created to manipulate us. So there's that. But also thou shalt be cut down, O madman, the sword shall pursue thee. A voice of crying shall be from Horonaim, spoiling and great destruction. Horonaim is 2 caves. It's a town in Moab. This whole place was cursed. Moab is destroyed. Her little ones have caused a cry to be heard. For in the going up of Luhith, and I'm probably saying that wrong, it's a place of the tablets. It's a town in Moab, south of the Arnon River. For in the going up of Luhith, for in the going up of Luhith, continual weeping shall go up. For in the going down of Horonaim, the enemies have heard a cry of destruction. Flee, save your lives, and be like the heath in the wilderness. Now, on the surface for us, that may not mean much. But that's why I read out the names. Because maybe there's something, the meanings. That's why there might be something to it. I don't know. I'm sure that there's somebody that could just say, well, this all just means, these are places in Moab that are to be destroyed and done away with. Deeper study could mean maybe there's a reason. There's always all the names inside of the Bible, it seems like, mean something as it pertains to the story. So, again, maybe you just throwing that out there, is that there might be more to it. Something worth looking into. Verse 7. For because thou hast trusted in my works, in thy works, sorry, for because thou hast trusted in thy works, and in thy treasures, thou shalt also be taken. And Chemosh shall go forth into captivity with his priests and his princes together. And the spoiler shall come upon every city, and no city shall escape. The valley also shall perish, and the plain shall be destroyed, as the Lord hath spoken. Give wings unto Moab, that they may flee and get away. For the cities thereof shall be desolate, without any to dwell therein. Cursed be he that doeth the work of the Lord deceitfully, and cursed be he that keepeth back his sword from blood. And there's another pilker right there. This one actually has some information for us. For because thou hast trusted, this is back up to verse 7, for because thou hast trusted in thy works and in thy treasure, thou shalt also be taken, and Chemosh shall go forth into captivity with his priests and his princes together. Chemosh or Chamish, what did I say it was? Verse 7. Let's look up that word. It means subduer. It's a national deity. Oh, the national deity of the Moabites, and a god of the Ammonites, also identified as Baal Peor, Beelzebub, Mars, and Saturn. Well, son of a gun, look at that. Worship of this god was introduced into Jerusalem by Solomon and abolished by King Josiah of Judah. Well, Chemosh. I don't even know. I don't even try to pronounce the name too much because you could be invoking something, you never know. For because thou hast trusted in thy works and in thy treasures, thou shalt also be taken. And Chemosh, Beelzebub, Baal Peor, Mars, Saturn, the devil himself, shall go forth into captivity with his priests and his princes together. The god of Moab shall go into captivity with his priests and his princes together. And the spoiler shall come. Then the spoiler shall come upon every city, and no city shall escape. The valley also shall perish, and the plain shall be destroyed, as the Lord hath spoken. Which is exactly what he said. He will tear everything down. People will walk past that and they will feel ashamed. For the people that live there, they will say, "Oh, look at how bad they went against their God for their God to do that to them." Give wings unto Moab, that it may flee and get away, for the cities thereof shall be desolate, without any to dwell therein. Cursed be he that doeth the work of the Lord deceitfully, and cursed be he that keepeth back his sword from blood. Now that line, cursed be he that doeth the work of the Lord deceitfully, cursed be he that keepeth back his sword from blood. Now, there's a couple different connecting passages here, but they're all like pre-Psalms. So we're talking about like Judges. Well, Judges isn't. What am I thinking? Or come on now. Come on. I gotta find it. Hold on a second. This is me looking through my book. 367. No, I don't pre-plan anything. I just come down here and talk. Which is exactly what it was. Like I said, I don't script anything. I don't do anything. I just read. I actually tried that once. Tried scripting videos. Didn't work. It's terrible. I had to eventually throw the whole thing out because it just sounded like I was reading too much. Okay, so Judges 23, Curse ye Meroz, said the angel to the Lord, curse ye bitterly the inhabitants thereof, because they came not to the help of the Lord, to the help of the Lord against the mighty. They came not to the help of the Lord, against the mighty. Huh. Now I need... This says Samuel. Or 13. I'm just trying to get some perspective on this because it sounds to me I had a sneeze just came up on me. It sounds to me... Now, this is 1 Samuel 3, or 1 Samuel 15:3. Now go and smite Amalek. Yeah, I got the sneezes now. That's awesome. Now go and smite Amalek and utterly destroy all that they have, and spare them not, but slay both man and woman, infant and suckling, ox and sheep, camel and ass. Alright, hold on 1 second. So, they're making references to places where God said to wipe these people out completely. So this is 1 Kings 20:42. Let me find this one as well. Wherever it is. Where are we at? 20:42. And he said unto him, thus saith the Lord, because thou hast let go of thy hand a man whom I appointed to utter destruction, therefore thy life shall go for his life, and thy people for his people. The king of Israel. So cursed be he that doeth the work of the Lord deceitfully, and cursed be he that keepeth back his sword from blood, that does not do the work of the Lord, keeping back his sword from blood. Now, all three of these references in my Bible go back to verses that talk about when God tells you to pick up the sword and go fight. You need to go fight. But if you don't, then you have done something wrong. And we are talking about Moab being destroyed. I don't remember, and I'm sure it's possible, after Lot came out of Sodom and Gomorrah, was there a place, like during Saul's time perhaps, where they were supposed to go up and wipe out those cities, but they didn't? It seems to me, like in my head, it seems like that's one of those things that happened. Like they didn't do it, and they were allowed to the people of Moab were allowed to continue to go on, and God was not pleased. Could that be a part of it? Was that a thing? I don't know. I don't remember. Right off the top of my head, I don't remember. My study of everything before the Psalms is not that good. It's not the best. So I don't know. That's something worth contemplating. I don't have time to sit here and go into like a whole lesson on what that means particularly. But I can tell you what, just on the surface, by itself, cursed be he that doeth the work of the Lord deceitfully, and cursed be he that keepeth back his sword from blood. Just on that surface, if God tells you to do something, do it. Don't half-ass it. You want to go for it. If you're going to do the work of the Lord, make sure you do it all the way for what he wants you to do. That's the biggest takeaway of that. But there's more to it than that. I'm sure there is. And like I said, right now I don't have the time to be able to go into it. Everything right up until Psalms is not the best. Even Job is not the best for me. Like all the things in Exodus and the things in Kings and the things in Judges, it's a lot of fighting and warring, and there's, it's not, some people say those are the best parts of the book. I don't know. But for me, my study is not the best on that. So it's something to work on, I know where I'm not the best at. Again, I'm not a scholar. What? I'm just a guy. I'm just reading a book. Verse 11. Let's keep going, though. Moab hath been at ease from his youth, and he hath settled on his lees, and hath not been emptied from vessel to vessel. Neither hath he gone into captivity. Therefore his taste remained in him, and his scent is not changed. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will send unto him wanderers, that shall cause him to wander, and shall empty his vessels, and break their bottles. And Moab shall be ashamed of Chemosh, as the house of Israel was ashamed of Bethel, for their confidence. All right. That adds a little bit to it, is that Moab has been allowed to exist. Moab hath been at ease from his youth, and he hath settled on his lees, and hath not been emptied from vessel to vessel. Neither hath he gone into captivity. Therefore his taste remained in him, and his scent is not changed. You've been allowed to do this. You've been allowed to be spared the judgment of God up until this point. I still think that there was a place somewhere where one of the kings was told, go up and smite them. Go tear them down, burn them down, do the whole thing, women, children, all of them. They're cursed. Why are they cursed? Because they were started from an incestuous relationship. That's bad blood. Bad blood that God does not need in this world in order to pollute man. He did it with Noah. He did it with the Tower of Babel. He did it with Sodom and Gomorrah. It's where evil snowballs to eventually. Is that, all of these incestuous relationships, all of this evil and wickedness that multiply on top of each other over and over again, He's seen it before. He's seen it happen before. Once evil gets to a certain point, there's no coming back. All flesh was corrupted. All innocence was gone. Everything was so terrible. You could do nothing but start over. So he was preventing what could become something, excuse me, he was preventing something that could become world destroying. God always has a choice. He can either let mankind destroy itself, or, he could take away the evil that is in mankind and start over. Where are we at? Therefore, behold, this is verse 12. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will send unto him wanderers that shall cause him to wander, and shall empty his vessels, and break their bottles. And Moab shall be ashamed of Chemosh, as the house of Israel was ashamed of Bethel, their confidence. The house of Israel was ashamed of Bethel. Are we talking about Bethel? Is that what it is? What? It's a house of God, not Bethel. Because there's a... what is it called? There's just a dash in between it. It's not one word. Ancient place and seat of worship in Ephraim on border of Benjamin. So it's Bethel. Why do you have it hyphenated? Crazy. Alright, anyways. 14. How say ye, we are mighty and strong men for the war? Moab is spoiled, and gone up out of her cities, and his chosen young men are gone down to the slaughter, saith the king, whose name is the Lord of hosts. The calamity of Moab is near to come, and his affliction hasteth fast. All ye that are about him bemoan him, and all ye that know his name say, how is the strong staff broken, and the beautiful rod? Thou daughter that dost inhabit Dibon, come down from thy glory, and sit and thirst, for the spoil of Moab shall come upon thee. And I flipped 2 pages. Let me read that one again. Daughter that dost inhabit Dibon, come down from thy glory, and sit and thirst, for the spoiler of Moab shall come upon thee, and he shall destroy thy strongholds. O inhabitant of Aroer. I'm going to look that one up now and get it over with. Aroer. That's what it is. Aroer. Okay. O inhabitants of Aroer, stand by the way and espy. Ask him that fleeth, and her that escapeth, and say, what is done? Moab is confounded, for it is broken down. Howl and cry. Tell ye it in Arnon, that Moab is spoiled. And judgment is come upon the plain country, upon Holon, and upon Jahaza, and upon Mephath, and upon Dibon, and upon Nebo, and upon Beth Diblathaim, and upon Kiriathaim, and upon Beth Gamel, and upon Beth Meon, and upon Kirioth, and upon Bozrah, and upon all the cities of the land of Moab, far or near. The horn of Moab is cut off, and his arm is broken, saith the Lord. Alright. The names will kill you. I'm sure they will. And it's not just that either. Again, every city was named after a certain person that helped found it. And usually those people, those names can be found in the Bible as being the son of whoever, the daughter of whoever, the son of somebody who was the son of somebody else, who was the son of somebody else. So you get to see the process of who the people were, who the son or daughter was that founded this town, that, you get to see where it came from, so that you know the people, that it goes up to. You can tell if they're good or evil simply based upon simply based upon the son or the daughter of whoever it was. So let's go back up to 14. How say ye, we are mighty and strong men for the war? Moab is spoiled and gone up out of her cities, and his chosen young men are gone down to the slaughter, saith the king, whose name is the Lord of hosts. The calamity of Moab is near to come, and his affliction hasteth fast. All ye that are about him bemoan him, and all ye that know his name say, how is the strong staff broken, and the beautiful rod? Because, again, Moab was somehow saved from all of this. Of all the other cities that were destroyed and wiped out and everything, somehow Moab continued to exist. And again, I could swear there was a place that said that they were, because a king or whatever it was didn't want to take it. I could be very, very wrong on that, but I think that's what it was. All ye that are about him bemoan him, and all ye that know his name say, how is the strong staff broken and the beautiful rod? So this is 18. Thou daughter that dost inhabit Dibon, come down from thy glory, and sit in thirst, for the spoiler of Moab shall come upon thee, and he shall destroy thy strongholds. O inhabitant of Aroer, it's ruins. The name is ruins. The city on the north bank of the river Arnon, the southern point of the territory of Sihon, the king of the Amorites, and land of Reuben, a city in Ammon near Jabbok. And it's a town in northern Judah, so it could be either one of them, but we're talking about the one, I think. We're talking about the one with the Amorites, Jebusites, Ammonites. Stand by the way and espy. Ask him that fleeth and her that escapeth, and say, what is done? Moab is confounded, for it is broken down. Howl and cry. Tell ye it in Arnon, that Moab is spoiled. Arnon? Let's do that one. Arnon. So, where are we at? Arnon means rushing stream. It's a river east of the Jordan. It forms the border between Moab and the Amorites. Tell ye it in Arnon that Moab is spoiled, and judgment is come upon the plain country. Now here's where it gets fun. Every single one of these names. Judgment is come upon the plain country, upon Holon, or Holon. Holon, there you go, Holon, which means sandy. It's a town in the mountains. No, it's not that one. It's a city in Moab. And upon Jahazah, or Yahaz. It looks like it's Jahazah. It looks like Jahazah, but it's Yahaz. It means trodden down. And upon Mephath. Mophath. It looks like it says Mephath, Mephaaath, but no, it's Mophath. And it means it's splendor or height. Because these are the high places. You remember, Jerusalem's in the valley, Judah's in the valley, everything else is up in the high places. They went to the high places in the mountains. They fled up to the mountains. Because that's where they think that they can get closer to their gods. That's where they make all the temples and all the altars and everything else. Is you're supposed to go up and destroy all the places and all the temples and all the places, all those high places. That's what they kept saying. That's where all of the people will flee to. And they will go to the mountains, and they will cover themselves with the mountains, and they will say, hide us and protect us from the Lord's judgment. But it will not work. That's what it says in Revelation. It means stuff. It really does. When they go up into the mountains, that's how you know. So 22, and upon Dibon, which means wasting, and upon Nebo, which means prophet, and upon Beth Diblathaim, it is a house of the two fig cakes. House of the two fig cakes. I wonder how they got that name. Because you make the cakes for the Queen of Heaven. People are starting to talk about Lent. And starting to talk about Ash Wednesday. Or they were talking about it, because today's Thursday. But people are talking about it, and it's... Some people were saying how unbiblical it is. And I wanted to say, no, it's not that it's not biblical. There's places where it says to put on your sackcloth, shave your head, and cover yourself in ashes. But there's also places where it talks about what not to do, is starving yourself, covering yourself in ashes, showing that you are fasting, things like that. There's also places where it talks about the fasting for the Queen of Heaven, the weeping for Tammuz is what that is. The 40 days of weeping of Tammuz. It's spread out through the entire Bible. It's like you'd have to jump like to 5 different places to find it, but it's in there, and it talks about it over and over again. Just things to point out, just stuff that's happening in the real world that, you know, I can say, hey, look, this is a thing. Verse 23, and upon Kiriathaim, there we go. It's 2 cities. We talked about that one. And upon Beth Galmel, it's the house of recompense. All right. And upon Beth Meon, why does that look like that? Inside of the... This is interesting. So the concordance says for the name Beth Meon, Bethmeon, it is the house of Baal. But it's not Beth Meon, it's Beth Baal Meon. Huh. That's interesting. It's interesting that the King James would leave that out. If they would have said Beth Baal Meon, Beth Baal Meon. If they would have put Baal in there, we could have understood more about what these cities were. But they chose to take it out. That's interesting. Let's keep going now. 24, and upon Kerioth, which just means cities, just cities, and upon Basra, which is a sheepfold or fortress, and upon all the cities of the land of Moab, far and near. Let me make sure, yeah. The horn of Moab is cut off, and his arm is broken, saith the Lord. This is why we look the names up. It's interesting stuff like that. Beth Baal Meon. Let's keep going. Hopefully, we won't have any more names of cities. Verse 26. Make ye him drunken, for he magnified himself against the Lord. Moab also shall wallow in his vomit, and he also shall be in derision. For was not Israel a derision unto thee? Was he found among thieves? For since thou spakest of him, thou skippest for joy. O ye that dwell in Moab, leave the cities, and dwell in the rock, and be like the dove that maketh her nest in the sides of the hole's mouth. We have heard the pride of Moab. He is exceeding proud. His loftiness and his arrogance and his pride and the haughtiness of his heart. I know his wrath, saith the Lord, and it shall not be so. His lies shall not so affect it. Therefore will I howl for Moab, and I will cry out for all Moab. Mine heart shall mourn for the men of Kirhaes, O vine of Sibmah. I will weep for thee with the weeping of Jazer. Thy plants are gone over the sea. They reach even to the sea of Jazer. The spoiler is fallen upon thy summer fruits and upon thy vintage. And joy and gladness is taken from the plentiful field and from the land of Moab. And I have caused wine to fail from the winepresses. None shall tread with shouting. Their shouting shall be no shouting. For the cry of Heshbon, even unto Eliela, for the cry of Heshbon, even unto Eliela, and even unto Jahaz, have they uttered their voice from Zoar, even unto Horonaim, as an heifer of 3 years old. For the waters also of Nerim shall be desolate. Moreover, I will cause to cease in Moab, saith the Lord, him that offereth in the high places, and him that burneth incense to his gods. Therefore mine heart shall sound for Moab like pipes, and mine heart shall sound like pipes for the men of Kirhaes, because the riches that he hath gotten are perished. For every head shall be bald, for every beard clipped. Upon all the hands shall be cuttings, and upon the loins sackcloth. There shall be lamentation generally upon all the housetops of Moab, and in the streets thereof. For I have broken Moab like a vessel, wherein is no pleasure, saith the Lord. They shall howl, saying, How is it broken down? How hath Moab turned the back with shame? So shall Moab be a derision and a dismaying to all them about him. For thus saith the Lord, Behold, he shall fly as an eagle, and shall spread his wings over Moab. Kirioth is taken, and the strongholds are surprised, and the mighty men's hearts in Moab at that day shall be as the heart of a woman in her pangs. And Moab shall be destroyed from being a people, because he hath magnified himself against the Lord. Fear in the pit and the snare shall be upon thee, O inhabitant of Moab, saith the Lord. He that fleeth from the fear shall fall into the pit, and he that getteth up out of the pit shall be taken in the snare. For I will bring upon it, even upon Moab, the year of their visitation, saith the Lord. They that fled stood under the shadow of Heshbon, because of the force. But a fire shall come forth out of Heshbon, and a flame from the midst of Sion, and shall devour the corner of Moab, and the crown of the head of the tumultuous ones. Woe be unto thee, O Moab! The people of Chamish perisheth, for thy sons are taken captive, and thy daughters captives. Whew, that was a big one. All right. From 26 to 46. 20 verses. It's funny though, verse 47 is just one by itself. That's the Pilcrow. I probably should have broken that up, but I got through all of it. So guess what? Now we get to go through it again. Yay! But yeah, there were some more city names that we need to go through. Plus, there was a lot of stuff that has come before. A lot of things that I've seen from different places that are inside of here. Alright, I'm going to blow my nose. Hold on. Okay. Back up to 26. Make ye him drunken, for he magnified himself against the Lord. Moab also shall wallow in his vomit, and he also shall be in derision. That's the prettiest picture you can ever paint. Thank you, Father, for giving me that image of Moab wallowing in his vomit. And now everybody that's listening to this probably has that image in their head too. You're welcome. 27. For was not Israel a derision unto thee? Was he found among thieves? For since thou spakest of him, thou skippest for joy. For was not Israel a division unto thee? Was he found among thieves? For since thou spakest of him, thou skippest for joy. O ye that dwell in Moab, leave the cities and dwell in the rock, which is exactly what I was just saying before, is that they live in the high places. Why do they live in the high places? Because they're afraid of the water. God flooded the world to kill evil. He saved his best people. They flee and live in the high places because they're afraid that he's going to do it again. These knuckleheads out here that want to push climate change, that, the icebergs are going to melt and the water's going to come up and everything's going to be flooded. Why do you think that is? Because God's already flooded them out once, maybe twice, maybe 3 times. He's already done it. They're afraid of losing everything again. It's taken them, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 years, who knows how long it's taken them to get all the stuff back that they had pre-flood. Remember, it's going to be like the days of Noah. They're all, their whole thing, they, the evil ones, the evil wicked beings of this world, the ones that followed fallen angel technology, the ones that manipulated and played around with the DNA of the world, that created these abominations, that created giants, that had sex with angels, that did all this stuff. There's nothing new under the sun. Everything has already been here before. These people want to get back to that point where everything is open and free. They can go about and do whatever they want. Rape, pillage, kill, destroy, whatever. Cannibalism. They say that it's addicting. They say that human flesh is addicting. They say that once you have it, it's kind of like a drug. You need more. They're just like drinking the blood. It's once you start drinking the blood, once you find out that it does something to make you live longer, I don't know, gives you some kind of high. We could talk about adrenochrome all day if you want to. It's addicting. They want more and more and more. They want to get to a society to where they can just kill and murder and maim and eat whatever they want. They want that. That's what they want. Right now they can't do it in the open, but they want to. So they're normalizing it as much as possible. You have been normalized into thinking that eating flesh is okay. What do you think zombie movies are about? It's about eating flesh. You've seen it. You've seen human beings eating other human beings for 40, 50, 60 years now. And it's never even come across anybody's thought process. What you're watching is cannibalism. And it's slowly chipping away at that. Vampire movies, vampire stories, slowly conditioning you into understanding that people drink blood. Now they're outright talking about it. Who was the one girl from the Transformers? Came out, was talking about her and her boyfriend drinking blood. They do this. They're talking about this openly. You got people out there taste testing human flesh. I don't know what video that was. I don't even know if it was real or not, but that's a thing. They're openly talking about and taking the blood of younger people and transferring it into their bodies so that they could live longer. This is a slow conditioning. I absolutely 100% believe that's what it was like in the days of Noah. I think that's where it went to. When the giants could not feast on the fruit of the land, they turned upon the men of the land. When they could not fill themselves with the men of the land, they turned on each other. I think that's what Jasher says. So God had to put a stop to it. Because I think that's where it is. God said straight out, do not drink the blood. Do not eat the flesh. When Christ tells you to do it, he's talking about something completely different. He says it the way he says it in order to confuse and in order to hide the truth from the evil and wicked people of this world. Oh, but why would he do that? Well, everything he did was a metaphor. Everything he did was trying to get you to see the truth. And I think that's part of it. I think that whole process is part of it, is that Christ said the things that he said the way that he said so that you would know. That's what it comes down to. The worst sins imaginable will be eating and drinking blood. Eating flesh and drinking blood. But when he says it, he's talking about something completely different. His blood is the sacrificial blood. The water of life, if you will. The baptismal blood. To drink of it is to take that salvation into you. You eat of his flesh because he is the Word made flesh. God constantly talks about taking his prophets and telling them to eat books. How many guys have you seen in the Bible eat books? 3? 4? Take this scroll, write this down upon it, put it in your mouth and eat it. Swallow it. Take this book, put it in your mouth, eat it and swallow it. That's the Word of God. That's the understanding. Christ said it the way he said it. Eat of my flesh, because I am the Word made flesh. Eat the Word. Take the words into you so that they can become a part of you, so that you can have them. But I think he did that on purpose to show us that the most abominable thing possible, and I've said this before, and I don't know if it's true or not, and I can't say if it's true or not, and people may think I'm crazy for saying it or not, that human beings may or may not have been turned into pigs because we share so many similarities. And when God tells you not to eat pigs, when demons would rather go into pigs after they've come out of a man, when it becomes that big of a thing, and God goes out of his way to tell you don't eat certain things, when the abomination of desolation is called by the king's meat, it makes you think maybe that's the ultimate. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. I everything I've read and every story, every tale, every, even the Jewish mythologies and the child's stories and all that, they talk about it. They were consuming each other. It had gotten so bad that they were consuming the flesh of each other. Maybe there's something to it. I don't know. I can't say for certain. I'm just going by what I'm reading, what constantly comes around. I gotta go back to it. Where was I at? What did that have to do with anything? Where I gotta try to pull myself back to it. I gotta pull myself back to it. Speakers of joy, that's speakers of joy. You dwell on the rocks, and be like the dove that maketh her nest in the sides of the hole's mouth. This is about them running back to the hills, about them existing in the hills, because they were worried about the flood. These same people, that's what it was. Okay, all right. Because they're worried about God flooding the world again. That's what the whole thing was about. You have to come back to it eventually. That's what I was trying to figure out exactly how I got there. But that's what it is, though. That's why you hear about all these millionaires making these homes in the hills. These bunkers, fallout bunkers in the hills. They're worried about that. It's the days of Noah. They're worried about the world being flooded again. Don't believe the climate change nonsense. You're not going to be flooded again. God promised that He would not flood the world again. Just because certain places get flooded doesn't mean that He's going to flood the world again. He promised us He would not do that. He's going to burn it down, is what He's going to do. He's going to burn it down. He's going to level the mountains, is what He's going to do. He said He is going to start clean slate. You ain't going to have to worry about running to the hills. But that's also where they have their groves. That's also where they have their places of worship to their gods. It says it in here too. It's where they worship their gods. That's why they do it. That's why they all run to the hills. That's why climate change is such a thing. It's because they're scared. That's the spirits. That's the evil spirits. This is a spiritual battle. This is not a physical battle. This is a spiritual battle. They're worried that God's coming again. They're worried that when you put it into that kind of context, when you really understand what that means and why these people are so freaked out about water levels, that's why. That's evil. That's evil for you right there. And the same people that are making all these places, all these bunkers, preparing themselves to be flooded out, it's the same people that preach about drinking blood, cannibalism, doing all these things. That's where I needed to get to. That's where I needed it to come back to. 29, let's talk about pride. We have heard the pride of Moab. He is exceeding proud. His loftiness and his arrogancy and his pride and the haughtiness of his heart. Pride goeth before destruction. And, wait, what was it? Pride goeth before the fall, and a haughty heart goeth before destruction. Is that what it was? Or something like that? Not only are they in the cities, or in the mountains, in the hills, praying to their gods, but they have pride. They have pride. Think about that for a second. Moab, the son of Lot, the incestuous son of Lot, has pride, exceeding pride, loftiness, and arrogancy. Pride comes from a place of incestuous relationships. Think about that for a second. 30. I know his wrath, saith the Lord, but it shall not be so. His lies shall not so affect it. I know his wrath. I gotta see that one though. I know I'm starting to get a little long in the tooth here, but I know his wrath, excess fury, outburst of passion, anger, rage, wrath. I know his wrath, saith the Lord, but it shall not be so. His lies shall not so affect it. Therefore will I howl for Moab, and I will cry out for all Moab. Mine heart shall mourn for the men of Kir-Haris. Kir-Haris. I gotta look up all these names too. Kieris. Okay. That's a wall of potsherds. One of the two chief strongholds of Moab. Mine heart shall mourn for the men of Kieris. A vine of Sibma. Did we look up Sibma before? It means fragrance. A vine of Sibma. I will weep for thee with the weeping of Jazer. Jazer or Yahazer. Yahazer. Okay. It means helped. Thy plants are gone over the sea. They reach even to the sea of Yazer. The spoiler is fallen upon thy summer fruits and upon thy vintage. Where's it? Oh, it's right here. And joy and gladness, this is 33, and joy and gladness is taken from the plentiful field and from the land of Moab, and I have caused wine to fail from the wine presses. None shall tread with shouting. Their shouting shall be no shouting. This is the same as we've read before, especially in Isaiah, I think, where there were many places where it talked about the wine presses would be spoiled, the vineyard would be spoiled, the wine would not be there, everything would be taken away and fallen, and God would take all of that away. Very symbolic. Right now I cannot think about no, it's not coming to mind. There was a lot of places where it was talking about drinking the wine and the wine being bitter because of... It was something like that. It was something like the wine was bitter because it had been spoiled by the place, so he will tear down the vineyards and he will build them back up and they will be better because of it. I don't remember exactly what it was. It was somewhere in there, and it goes along with a psalm that I remember too. Something similar to that, but it's the same thing as what we've read previously and other things. Let's keep going though. 34, from the cry of Heshbon even unto Elealeh. Elealeh, 34. Elale. Oh wow, okay. God is ascending, that's what it says. And even unto, what did I say that was? Yahaz? I don't even know. Have they uttered their voice from Zoar even unto Horonaim, as an heifer of 3 years old? For the waters also of Nimrim shall be desolate. And yet again, that's all these cities that we know nothing about. It means limpid or pure. For the waters also of Nimrim shall be desolate. For the waters of a place that is pure shall also be desolate. Think about that for a second. This is why you look at the names, because there's even places of purity shall be desolate. Moreover, I will cause to cease in Moab, saith the Lord, him that offereth in the high places, and him that burneth incense to his gods. I will tear down the groves. I will tear down the high altars. I will tear down those places that I told my people time and time again, go up, tear these places down, cut these places off, put out evil wherever it is. But you didn't listen to me over and over again. Actually, what they did was they went out, my people went out, and they actually pulled this into their own beliefs. And I told them not to. I told them to destroy it. I told them to break down the altars, but they didn't do it. Some people think it's neat that all of the politicians, men of power, they think it's interesting and neat that they all go out into the trees, into the groves, and have gatherings like Bohemian Grove. There's people out there that think that stuff's neat. I'm not joking around. They think it's very interesting that these guys, they don't want to talk about what they do and don't do. They just want to talk about the fact that, oh, hey, that's really interesting that they go out and they do all these things. It's a grove. Your Father, which is in heaven, told you to break those places down, but nobody wants to do it. You wonder why he's so mad at everybody. Moreover, I will cause to cease in Moab, saith the Lord, him that offereth in the high places, and him that burneth incense to his gods. 36. Therefore mine heart shall sound for Moab like pipes, and mine heart shall sound like pipes for the men of Kirheas, because the riches that he hath gotten are perished. The riches. Those rich people that are up in the hills, making all those places where they're wanting to hide. For every head shall be bald, and every beard clipped. I've said that before. There's something about that. When people are taken captive, they are shaved. It could be for lice. Who knows? It could be for that. It could be that there is something about the hair having a spiritual aspect. We can look at what was his name? Samson. Samson said that his hair had never been cut and he had power beyond power. They clipped his head and he had nothing, but it grew out that tiny little bit and he was able to take down an entire temple. Samson. For every head shall be bald and every beard clipped. Upon all the hands shall be cuttings, probably from chains, who knows, and upon loins sackcloth. There shall be lamentation generally upon all the housetops of Moab, and in the streets thereof. For I have broken Moab like a vessel, wherein is no pleasure, saith the Lord. There is no pleasure because the wine was tainted. That's why he was breaking the vessel, because he said the wine was bitter in his mouth. Something like that, and he spit it out. I cannot remember exactly where it was, but I remember reading that. They shall howl, saying, how is it broken down? How hath Moab turned the back with shame? So shall Moab be a derision and a dismaying to all them with him. For thus saith the Lord, behold, he shall fly as an eagle, and shall spread his wings over Moab. He shall fly as an eagle. The eagle has been a symbol of the conquering nations for years. The Egyptians, even the Greek, even the Romans, even America, the eagle has been the conquering symbol of the world. It has been the one symbol, even the Babylonians, even the Assyrians, even the Phoenicians, even the ones that came before that. I can't remember who it is. It has been their ultimate symbol of conquering. The Lord never says that he will come as an eagle, but he uses evil men. He uses these symbols to conquer his people whenever they don't want to follow his laws. For thus saith the Lord, behold, he shall fly as an eagle and shall spread his wings over Moab. The conquering nation. This is about Babylon coming up and conquering all of these nations as an eagle. Keep that in mind whenever you talk about the United States of America and you talk about even Russia as a double-headed eagle. All of those places in Europe that have flags that have the eagles on them. They're conquering eagles. It's things to think about. It's these evil nations that God uses to rise up over other nations. It's the symbology of it. It's been there for years. That's why they have eagles on the back of your. They have eagles on the back of your money to keep you to keep you understanding who it is that really runs this place. 41. Kerioth is taken, and the strongholds are surprised, And the mighty men's hearts in Moab at that day shall be as the heart of a woman in her pangs, just like the birth pangs. It is very amazing how this Bible repeats itself into history over and over again. And Moab shall be destroyed from being a people, because he hath magnified himself against the Lord. Fear and the pit and the snare shall be upon thee, O inhabitant of Moab, saith the Lord. He that fleeth from the fear shall fall into the pit, and he that getteth up out of the pit shall be taken in the snare. For I will bring upon it, even upon Moab, the year of their visitation, saith the Lord. They that fled stood under the shadow of Heshbon, because of the force. But a fire shall come forth out of Heshbon, and a flame from the midst of Sihon. And Sihon, S-I-H-O-N, Sihon, not Zion, Sihon. I think it's the same thing, though. And shall devour the corner of Moab, and the corner of the head of the tumultuous ones. Woe be unto thee, O Moab, the people of Chemosh perisheth, for thy sons are taken captives, and thy daughters captives. Verse 47. Yet will I bring again the captivity of Moab in the latter days, saith the Lord. Thus far is the judgment of Moab. Now that is just one verse in a pilcrow. Yet will I bring again the captivity of Moab in the latter days, saith the Lord. Thus far is the judgment of Moab. In the latter days, saith the Lord. Is this something that's happening now? Against Moab, one that is free is spoiled. I will do all these things unto you. Yet I will bring again the captivity of Moab in the latter days. So I will do all these things to you now, but I will also bring again the captivity in the latter days. Okay, alright, I got you on that one. Okay, well, man, 49 is a big chapter too, and that's going to be on Monday, because tomorrow we're going to do some more Ephesians. But, yeah, there you go. It got a little rough with the names, but once we got away from the names and we started getting into it, yeah, it actually opened up there, didn't it? Again, Jeremiah's an interesting book. You tend to get a lot of snippets of the world. That's why I love Jeremiah. That's why I love Isaiah and Ezekiel, because you get these looks at the present world, the way the things are now, and you get to see, wow, that's us. That's us. You can't not point at that and say, oh, hey, he's talking about people that were doing the exact kind of nonsense that we're doing. Because you remember Jeremiah started off small. It started off small saying, hey, don't do this. Don't do that. Don't do this. You're doing these silly little things. You're doing this like that. And then he brings destruction upon everything. And then it becomes, well, hey, guess what? Now I'm going to destroy entire cities because they didn't do this. They didn't do that. These big, huge things that, these things matter. He's destroying Moab because they had pride. They had exceeding proud in his loftiness, arrogancy, haughtiness of the heart. They kept their temples, their places of high worship, to other gods. They thought they were indestructible, doing things of pure wickedness and pure evil, thinking they could get away with it. And he said, I will tear you down, and I will even bring you back in the latter days. I will bring you back into captivity. You think it's bad now? I'm going to do twice as bad. But it echoes what's happening now. These people are afraid. These people are afraid they're going to get flooded out again. So they live in the hills. They've always lived in the hills. It's a spiritual battle. This is a spiritual battle. This is a spiritual war. And they're using climate change as a way to manipulate you and tax you. Take away everything that you have. So that not only can they get rich, but they can be proud. You're supposed to have pride. You're supposed to have pride not only in yourself, but you're supposed to have pride in saving the environment. Be proud that you're saving the environment. Doing everything that you can so that they can be proud of being so arrogant to think that they can control the world. And they can't. God's going to bring it down on their heads eventually. You know, he's giving them a chance. He's giving us a chance to stop it. How do we stop it? We stop it with truth. Sword of the truth. What was the line again? What was the cursed be he that doeth the work of the Lord deceitfully, and cursed be he that keepeth back his sword from blood. And all three of those verses that line goes back to are about not following God's word when he told the people to wipe all these people. I'm not going to say that's what that was 100% about, but I just find it interesting. That's all. It's curious stuff. Anyways, I gotta go. I gotta get ready for work. Love you all. God bless. Take care of yourselves. I shall see you all tomorrow. As far as today is concerned, well, boy, we Moab. Oh God. I was also going to say something about biblical references to how they use biblical references in the real world. I find it interesting that they call it the mother of all bombs. They call it the Moab. And it's fascinating. We read this now, and God says that he's wiped out Moab. Complete destruction. And they call the bomb that it's not nuclear, that it's not atomic, even though it's probably what it was. I don't know if nuclear power is real or not. I don't know. But, or if nuclear, bombs are real or not. But this bomb it basically has the hit of an atomic bomb. They call it the mother of all bombs, and God wiped out, clean slate, the entirety of Moab. I don't know. There's something to it. I just find it interesting. How they take God's words and pervert it, turn everything backwards. Everything's upside down now. Absolutely everything is upside down. Nothing makes sense anymore. But yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. All right, I shall talk to you guys later. I do have to go, though. Take it easy.